Aron Kaufman's story is one of relentless drive, rebellion, and resilience. A man who turned wrenches and heartbreak into a legacy. Born on January 26, 1982, in Crowley, Texas, Aron grew up in a modest trailer park where his father, David Kaufman, worked long mechanic shifts to earn just enough to support the family. From an early age, Aron showed an unusual fascination with machines. At 10, he took apart the family's broken lawnmower using only a kitchen knife and screwdriver, not just repairing it, but improving its performance by nearly 15%. His secret was simple. Every night, he studied his father's repair manuals by flashlight until he fell asleep on the greasy pages. By 8 years old, he was already driving his grandfather's 1968 Ford F-100, a truck that would later define his career. That pickup became his world, the smell of oil, gasoline, and grit forming the foundation of his identity. By 12, Aron had turned the family's backyard into a mini workshop where he built go-karts from lawnmower engines and shopping carts, some of which reached 35 miles per hour. His first serious accident came in 1994 when an exhaust system exploded and left him with burns that required 23 stitches. Even then, he hid tools in a shed so his parents couldn't take away his passion. In high school, Aron's obsession with mechanics overshadowed everything else. He skipped more than half of his classes, working for $4.25 an hour at small Dallas garages. At 16, he rebuilt a transmission that 3 certified mechanics had failed to fix, earning a $200 paycheck that felt like fortune. By graduation, his principal had found $1,400 in his locker from weekend jobs, more than most adults in Crowley made in a month. His shop teacher quietly protected him, lying about attendance so he could keep working. Aron tried college for 1 semester in 2000, maintaining a 3.7 GPA with a partial scholarship, but he dropped out when a professor dismissed one of his real-world designs as impossible. He was already deep in debt from buying tools, borrowing from loan sharks at 28% interest. When his family's electricity was cut off, Aron hustled harder, searching for any work to keep the lights on. Later that same year, he attempted a risky dirt bike jump and shattered his wrist in 3 places. The medical bills forced the family to sell their beloved F-100 truck. 2 years later, Aron met Richard Rawlings at a Dallas garage. Rawlings saw something extraordinary in the young mechanic and invited him to join his new venture, Gas Monkey Garage. What started as a small shop grew into a phenomenon, largely because of Aron's vision. In 2008, his rebuild of a 1968 Corvette turned an $8,500 investment into a $58,500 sale, proving his craftsmanship and business instincts were unmatched. His next big project, merging a 1970 Dodge Charger body with a Viper V10 engine, nearly destroyed the shop but ended up saving it, earning accolades and attention. By 2012, Aron and Richard were starring in Discovery Channel's Fast and Loud, a show that pushed Aron to his limits. Building 12 cars in 24 weeks, often working over 100 hours a week, he lived at the edge of exhaustion. Viewers saw a calm craftsman, but behind the scenes he was sleeping in cars, showering with a hose, and driving 14 hours a week just to commute. The fame came at a cost. Tension between Aron and Richard grew as the show prioritized television drama over true craftsmanship. Their most famous project, the rebuild of a wrecked Ferrari F40, highlighted their differences. Aron wanted authenticity. Richard wanted spectacle. The finished car was stunning, but Aron felt creatively compromised. Things deteriorated further during the Da Tommaso Pantera EcoBoost build, where he was pressured to meet impossible deadlines and cut corners. He realized that the show had become about ratings, not quality. By 2017, the partnership had reached its breaking point. Aron, overworked and underpaid compared to Rawlings, discovered that he was being replaced by younger mechanics he had trained. Feeling betrayed and exploited, he described Gas Monkey as a creative prison. During a motorcycle build that same year, safety concerns were ignored for the sake of good footage, and when a semi-truck nearly failed during a test drive, Aron finally walked off the set. On March 6, 2017, he announced on Facebook that he was leaving Gas Monkey Garage. Fans were stunned, unaware of how long he had been planning his escape. His next venture, Shifting Gears, launched in 2018 but struggled to find its audience. Without the chaos of Rawlings, the show lacked spark. Ratings fell, and within a year it was canceled. Worse still, lawsuits surfaced in 2019 from clients who claimed he had abandoned nearly $300,000 in unfinished car projects. His new company, ArcLight Fabrication, was drowning in debt, and a shop fire caused by faulty wiring, installed by Aron himself, destroyed $50,000 worth of inventory. He had no insurance coverage and had to pay the loss out of pocket. Despite the setbacks, Aron refused to quit. In 2020, he introduced electric conversion kits for vintage Ford trucks using Tesla batteries. Purists were furious, accusing him of ruining automotive history, and more than $200,000 worth of orders were canceled. But the backlash drew a younger crowd fascinated by his fusion of classic design and modern sustainability. Within 6 months, orders surged, proving that Aron was once again ahead of the curve. Still, life off camera wasn't easy. His marriage to longtime partner Charlene Fleming began to crumble under the strain of 16-hour workdays. Around the same time, he suffered a mental health collapse, admitting later that post-fame depression had nearly broken him. He entered therapy twice a week for over a year, slowly recovering through EMDR treatments. In March 2021, he suffered a ruptured appendix and nearly died after collapsing alone in his shop. The infection spread, requiring multiple surgeries and months of recovery. The business lost hundreds of thousands during that downtime, but the scare forced him to finally slow down and delegate. Then came another blow, his crypto investments. Aron had poured $1.2 million into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and car-themed tokens, only to lose nearly 85% of it by mid-2022. He was forced to mortgage his Dallas shop and sell 2 prized F-100s, including a prototype worth $180,000, just to stay afloat. Yet, as he always had, he rebuilt from the wreckage. By late 2024, Aron was back in the spotlight. At the SEMA show in Las Vegas, he unveiled his most ambitious plan yet. A project to restore 12 historically significant Route 66 vehicles, including a 1949 Ford F1 and a 1962 Chevy Impala from the original Route 66 TV series. Partnering with the Smithsonian and the National Park Service, he began funding the $2.3 million project through private investors and crowdfunding. Even Discovery Channel expressed interest in returning him to television, this time on his own terms. Meanwhile, ArcLight Fabrication evolved into a hybrid of classic metalwork and modern electric technology.